Hey, welcome back, sister, to our Linking Arms podcast. I am so happy you are here. You are in for a treat today. I am joined by Miss Chris Mills. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
And the topic for today is the reality of mental health. I cannot wait to hear this. This is going to be so rich. A little bit about Chris. Chris is the president and partner at trueU. She is one of four siblings. One has passed on, and she is married to her love for 34 years. They call themselves old newlyweds. It's so cute when she was telling me these stories. I'm like, oh my God, I love it. And she is passionate about mental health. And she has her own story that she's going to share with us. As you know, we always start with the woman's story, and that's what we're going to hear today. But I think it's so interesting because when her and I were prepping, she told me that she told her mental health story to 300 strangers before she even told her family. So I almost like want to start there and go, okay, Chris, let's dive in. How did that happen? And what is the story?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Nadine. I appreciate any opportunity I get to tell my story. I joined a program, long piece of that, but a program just for ladies, 7 months. And I knew when I joined it that it culminated in a 7-minute tell your story.
Mm.
And I knew going in, I really only had one story to tell. And I also knew I had never shared that pretty much with anybody, maybe four people in my life, one of which was my husband. I felt more comfortable up on stage, not making eye contact with anybody, sharing the reality of my story. And part of that was I knew in that audience that there would be somebody that related to me and somebody maybe who didn't have any expectations of me and who I was. And they were just going to accept me for that.
Hmm.
And part of my story is family trauma. And so to be able to tell my family, there were some major things that had to be overcome before I could share that with them. And I'm a high achiever, maybe a little bit of an overachiever, and feel the pressure of being that way for my family.
Yeah.
And so in many ways, I felt like a lifetime movie when it came to my mental health.
Hmm.
And I was afraid that's how they were going to see me. And lifetime movies aren't always realistic about what mental health is.
Yeah.
And so part of my story is sharing that one day I sat in a room with my therapist and um, it was a beautiful day. Sun was shining. We were having great conversation. We started to delve into different things and she paused me and she said, Chris, I know this is going to be painful to hear, but I really think we have to expand this. I believe you're bipolar. And Nadine, like crickets in the room, I didn't know what to do with that. Like I said earlier, all I had were these really negative impressions.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going, now wait a second. How does that fit into me?
Yeah.
And it was really, let's just say I didn't leave there without a lot of tears and
Oh,
a lot of
gosh.
conversation.
Can't even
And we
imagine.
might have gone over our hour to be able to have that conversation.
Sure. So, okay, I need to I need framework around this. So, how
Yeah.
old were you when this came up?
Yeah. So officially diagnosed,
Yeah.
I was late in life, typically for bipolar. So I was 40.
Okay. So, was that a
Now,
to you when it was like,
it was a complete shock. Once my husband understood the diagnosis, he would have said I was late being diagnosed.
okay, okay. So you went on with life, high achieving woman, right? So
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were successful in business. You owned a beautiful home, had the beautiful clothes, like all the things, right?
Hmm.
But there was something there that made you go, I need to work with a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And it really delved into my relationship with my husband.
okay.
It it was really starting to put so much pressure on my husband.
Okay.
And in a moment of clarity, I realized, wait a second, this how I'm treating him is not how he should be treated.
Wow.
This isn't fair to him. And at the same time, realizing some of my, problems were breaking my body down.
Okay.
So, I was facing a lot of health issues, starting not to be able to perform at work,
Okay.
and that had never been an issue.
Okay.
Um, if you know anything about bipolar, though, there were
No,
days
I
where,
wanna hear
ooh,
more. Yeah, I
I
wanna.
was killing it, right? I mean, I was on so much energy, but Nadine, I probably hadn't slept for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
I would get up, I'd run 10 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 10 miles each
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
and then, go into work, but focus wasn't there. And then the flip side would happen. I would crash and I would fall asleep in a meeting.
Oh, wow, okay. And that's how you
Yeah.
experienced it. So it was like the highs of highs, energy, and then the lows of lows where it's like no energy, just gone.
Nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. Crying all of the time. Think about it this way. You have the highs and then you hit depression really hard and it's a crash.
Okay.
It's very much a crash.
Okay. Okay. Um, Number 1, thank you for sharing this with us because I know
Yeah,
that's so vulnerable because of the stigma out there around
absolutely.
diagnosis and all of that, but I wanna learn more. I wanna know more. I wanna hear more about your story, as much or as little as you're willing to share with us.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, mental health isn't always tied to trauma. For a lot of people, trauma is in the history. And so in my trauma, there was abuse from a family member for several years. Um, Something I didn't admit until honestly later in life. Never relived the story, pushed it down. Understand now that how I make decisions is because of some of those things that happened in that trauma.
Yeah.
I am blessed to work with another group called Dove Recovery House that works with ladies who have substance use disorder.
Yeah.
And many of them are dealing with trauma. So, trauma can lead to substance use disorder, mental health challenges. It just goes, and what I love about our society nowadays is we are starting to talk about trauma,
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten
and
a
it's
lot.
time.
Yeah.
Not right. There's still a little bit of stigma. There's still a little uncomfortableness with it. What I would share is as leaders like myself, as we start to tell our stories and show that it's okay and we're comfortable with it,
Yeah.
others will share their stories too. But, kind of back to my story a little bit, lots of trauma early in my life.
Yeah.
Know that I dealt with depression up and down. Um, there's a article, a letter actually that I found from a lady that talks about suicide. And for me, my husband and I are very careful. We have open conversations about it. But suicide is something that's always in the back of my mind. And it is because there are just days living with bipolar, living with a mental health, it becomes completely overwhelming.
Mm.
I have never gotten to the point of taking any action.
Yeah.
It's there though, and it's real. And so we're just very conscious of that within our household and very open about those conversations.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
important to be honest about it because what stays hidden will become toxic, you know?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I'm so grateful that you're sharing that here. And I just want to say to our listener if this is something that you struggle with, you are not alone. You are
Mm-mm.
not alone. And you don't have to carry it alone and you don't have to keep it hidden.
Each each person's going to handle it their own way, for sure. Um and at the same time, it starts internally. Nobody can fix you.
Yeah.
My husband is a fixer, he couldn't fix me. My therapist is a fixer. She can't fix me, right? The healing comes from within.
Mm,
I was blessed. I like to say like I said, I'm an overachiever, right? God sent me 2 therapists and a psychologist that were fabulous. So it wasn't just one, it was a team
right.
of 3
Yeah.
that
You
got me
work
going
it
in the
out.
right direction.
So I'd love to hear kind of a little bit more. Is there more that you wanted to share or can I ask some?
Yeah, 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 yeah. How many times have you said to our listener, how many times have you said to yourself, "Suck it up, buttercup"?
Mm,
As women in particular, we live that life.
yeah, we do. Gosh,
There was no yeah.
it's even, just saying that. Yes. Carry on.
Yeah. There was no way I could suck it up anymore. There were days just getting in the shower was an accomplishment for the day.
Mm,
And even today, and again, it's 16 years later,
yeah.
even today, there are mornings where I live step by step by step. If I think about what's on my calendar or my to-do list for the day, I freeze. I'm done, right? The mental health challenge stops me there.
Yeah.
And so, if I could say anything to a lady out there that's experienced this,
Yeah.
please don't say suck it up, buttercup. Just realize it is okay to do a little bit of self care
Mhm.
and take care of you.
Yeah, I like that. I've seen this a bunch where it's like, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
It's okay to
Yes.
not be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot do everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Nadine, we talked about it. I love how you said it. I can't give a cookie to somebody if I don't have if I
Yeah.
haven't baked any cookies and I don't have a cookie myself.
Yeah.
Um, or if you're on an airplane, put the oxygen on yourself. That's not just a simple saying. It is hard to do.
It is. It is.
Lady, you will not do that. You will not put the oxygen on yourself. You will put it on your partner, your friend, your children, everybody
Dog,
else, your dog, before
school,
you will put it on yourself.
gardening, your workouts, although that could be self-care, but it could
It
also
could be.
not. Yeah.
It could be. It could be. Yeah. I think the other thing, Nadine, as part of my story is I did start to dabble with things that would numb the emotion.
Yeah.
And again, I was quick enough to realize that's a family trait.
Mm,
Addiction is definitely within my family. And I had the support network around me to stop
good for you.
before they became any type of disorder for me.
Good for you.
But numbing can be a little bit of everything. It can be as simple as overeating.
Yep.
And I say simple because people don't think about that
They
as
don't.
an addiction, but it is.
Yep.
And it is a way to numb.
And social media numbing.
Oh, spending time on social, which by the way, just inherently makes things even worse.
Yeah.
Because when I look at social media, I look at it and I don't look at it very much, by the way.
Me
When
neither.
I look at it, I sit there and I'm like, oh, look at their life.
I know. We compare our
And that's not the
inside
reality.
to everybody else's outsides. I know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I know. I like go back and forth. I like being plugged in because I want to know what's going on and birthdays and births and like I don't watch the news, so this is like my form of news. But at the same time, I will delete the app for seasons and go because then it's so much harder to get on the actual site, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a little tricky. Okay, so what I want to hear from you, Chris, is I want to hear like what the bipolar experience was like before you were getting help and then kind of like what happened as you got the help and how is it today and what are some things that you have in place to manage the mental health and just I want to hear about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, in those highs, um, it could be everywhere from planning a event every night of the week because I was so energized. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do this.
And it was like sincere
And
energy, like you weren't taking energy pills or drinking
oh,
caffeine.
you are over the top. Now,
Right.
I am blessed. There are people that, like, for me, this wasn't true, but they overspend. It's shopping online, it's going shopping. Like, I met one person through this process that literally, she decided at midnight to paint her carpet blue.
Okay. Okay.
There's no impulse control and things don't necessarily connect.
Okay. I gotcha.
Now there are wonderful pieces to that, Nadine. Imagine how much I could get accomplished.
Sure. Especially in today's world, we celebrate that, right?
Yes, yes. And I had 24 hours to do it in. Most of the time we're sleeping at least hopefully 6 to 8 of those hours. Well, I had that extra 6 to 8 hours to get things done.
Right.
So that I mean, I said to the doctor one time, "Great, we've controlled the highs. Those were my favorite."
Yeah. Yeah.
I would get up if I did sleep, I'd get up by 4 o'clock in the morning. I was out running 10 to 12 miles every day. So a half marathon every day. Picture that.
I get tired driving that. Woo! Okay, so talk to me about the lows. What were those
Ugh,
before you got the, awareness and the health and
yeah, the lows were the probably, like I said, the hardest part.
yeah,
I could be in the middle of a meeting and just start crying.
yeah.
I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on, but the tears would just, and it wasn't like nice, gentle tears. It was sobbing. It was uncontrollable.
Okay.
Um, like I said, I would not show up to events that I had scheduled myself to go to because
Okay.
I couldn't face people. I couldn't be around people.
Yeah.
Um, what I would say to my husband, and I say this today as kind of a sign, is it's too peoply out there. I
Okay.
can't do it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And he didn't understand that. He was a very social person. I was fluctuating between social,
Sure.
right? And so it took all my energy to go to work. And by the time work was done, there was no longer any energy to do anything else.
Yeah.
So the reverse was happening. I was sleeping all the time.
Okay. That makes sense. And then is that when the suicidal thoughts would like really be there?
Yeah, because picture going from happy and excited and energized to nothing.
Yeah.
And everything's dark, your thoughts are dark,
Wow.
everything's foggy, you can't really think through things. Um, stress stress was, um, what do I wanna say? It was very much like an accelerator of my depression.
Okay. It was like like it triggered it almost.
It would absolutely trigger it even more, it still does today.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a president of a company, there's lots of pressure that goes with that,
I bet.
and
Yeah.
I have to manage that stress. I'm in a great environment to do that.
What a blessing.
It is a blessing.
Yeah. So talk to me about like what did the healing so you got this prognosis and you're like, what are you talking about? Right. So what did you do with that? And then what were some of the steps you've taken for healing and what does that look like today? And
Yeah. You know what? The first was self-acceptance.
okay. Isn't that
And
interesting?
one of the things that I share when I train leaders on mental health, especially in the workplace, is we don't use first person language. So, for example, you will never hear me say I am bipolar.
Yeah.
I have bipolar.
Got it. Yep.
It is just a piece of who I am.
Yeah. It's not part of your identity. It's
No,
something
it's just a piece of me.
yeah.
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 Right. And my psychologist says it this way. Sometimes you have diabetes, sometimes you have high blood pressure, sometimes you have asthma. You're not an asthmatic, you
Right.
have asthma.
Right. Okay.
So why wouldn't we say I have bipolar? It's a disease.
So it's interesting because I'm hearing 2 things. I'm hearing acceptance,
Mhm.
but I'm also hearing, but it doesn't define me. It's not my
No.
identity. It's not who I am. It's I
Mm-mm.
accept that this is part of my journey.
That's right. It's part of my journey. And by the way, God has helped me use that unbelievably
I bet.
in a diverse environment. And so my therapist actually said to me early on, someday, Chris, you will tell people your story and you will help them. I truly believe that. And I denied her. I was like, I am telling no one. My
Yeah.
husband will know and no one else.
Isn't that interesting? When you are in it, you're like, no way. And then you've
Mm-mm.
healed. You're healing when you're like, wait, I can use this for good. It's
The
beautiful.
NFL has it right. We have to break the stigma.
Yeah. Did you struggle with that? Like, the stigma anywhere? Like, was there certain spaces where you started avoiding or maybe that maybe weren't receptive? I'm curious about that.
No, I reported to somebody who it was clear that they didn't understand mental health,
Yeah.
didn't understand bipolar. They said to me at one point, they were talking about a team member. I believe she's bipolar because some days she's happy and she's full of energy, and some days. Do you think I was going to tell him I was bipolar?
Gosh.
Absolutely not. I
Right.
had somebody else, a colleague, we were reorganizing, and some of her employees were going to report to me. I had shared with her my story. Nadine, she looked at me and she said, I'm uncomfortable. I love these people and I don't know how you're going to treat them. Stigma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that shut me down. Those two people were at the same company. That shut me down for a really long time.
I bet.
Mhm.
So talk to me, let's pivot into the healing piece and like kind of
Yeah.
how you navigate this piece of your life because
Mhm.
it's not you, it's not who you are, but it's a piece that must be managed probably, I'm guessing on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Not to quote the whole scripture, there is a Bible verse that talks about being fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
I still read it every day. Like it is it's my life verse.
Do you know what it is? Can I look it up? What is it?
Yeah, it's Psalms 139:14.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up while you continue.
So
Um,
someday, by the way, I'm gonna tattoo it right there on my wrist.
and that you cling to that. That's something
I
that
cling to that. I really it it was the breaking point for me to be able to say, "You know what? I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Exactly as I am."
yeah,
Not that we shouldn't all be a little bit about, like, how can I continue to grow and
of course.
develop?
Of course.
And yet at the same time, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and it's a
Yes.
wonderful thing.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry, you need to quote the Psalms what?
Psalms 139:14.
139:14. Okay, I wanna read it. Okay, so I have it in the NLT, and
Mhm.
it's this one says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex." Ooh. I'm definitely complex.
Yes. Yes.
Your workmanship is marvelous. How
Yeah,
well I know it.
yeah.
Um I'm gonna compare. I'm gonna see what the other versions say. Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the TPT, which is the Passion Translation. It says, I thank you, God, for making me so mysteriously complex. Everything you do is marvelously breathtaking. It simply amazes me to think about it, how thoroughly you know me, Lord. The easy version says, I thank you for the wonderful way that you have made me. Everything that you do is wonderful. I know all that is true. Um, And here's the NIV, which is I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
Yes.
What a verse to cling to. Those are like identity, like I stand on this truth.
Yes. It
Amazing.
took me a while to stand on that truth. It took a while to stand on that truth.
And I bet it's a daily reminder. Like it's like we forget and then we come back and then we forget and we come
Mhm.
back.
Oh, it's at the top of my journal almost every morning. So I usually write something, a saying or whatever. It is almost always fearfully and wonderfully made. And then I dig into my gratitude for the day.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, as we wrap up this episode, number one, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
being so vulnerable and just telling us the real deal, the reality of mental health. I want to say to any listener out there, we all have something. We all have something. Maybe yours is mental health. Maybe yours is emotional health. Maybe yours is physical health. Maybe yours is financial. Maybe yours is relational. I don't know, but we all have something, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Chris, is
That's
there
right.
anything that you would wrap up this episode with for our sister who's listening?
Yeah. I'll bring another concept in here. Um, don't be an imposter.
Mm,
Be your real self. When you are genuine, for your real self, that is when you will heal.
That's beautiful. Like, authentically you.
Authentically you.
Ah, so this is our story episode with Chris. If you want to listen in to some practical applications, so our next episode, we're going to really dive into like practical applications for self care, practical applications for authentically walking it out, being authentically you, practical applications to like dealing with mental health challenges or whatever the challenge might be for you,
Yeah.
and still having joy in life, having uh,
That's right.
success in life, still having the goodness, enjoying the goodness of life. So join us on the next episode. We'd love to have you there. And you are fearfully and wonderfully made, sister. Remember that.